Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Jesus Christ. Today we've got a pretty serious type video. Now, the video's inspiration today actually comes from people that I know around me who follow the news a lot, hyper-political people who like to put the blame on everything else but themselves. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we obviously know of the shootings that had occurred over the weekend, but one of the reasons for the video over here particularly is, while those were tragic events, one of the most fucked up things I've seen is blaming of video games and blaming of violent media and blaming of guns themselves for being the actual core problem rather than what's really the deep-seated issue. And honestly, my neighbors down south, I love you Americans to death, but this kind of stuff happens a lot, over time. And honestly, nobody really tackles the core root of the issue. Now, I'm pretty pissed whenever I see things like video games being attacked, or really violent media in general, or anything like that. I'm one of those people that believes that as fucking adults, we should have the choice to consume what we fucking want. And honestly, I'm not a black and white individual. Do I believe that ultra-violent video games might hurt some individuals, affect some people more intensely than others? Sure, the human mind is a fucking mystery. And ladies and gentlemen, some people are affected a little differently. But you know what? To blame a video game is pretty absurd, because as we go through time, ladies and gentlemen, there's been tons of violent media that has existed. Yes, video games are an interactive medium. Yes, they're a relatively new form of media that is kicked out. But ladies and gentlemen, it is not the reason why people are out there killing each other in mass shootings. Just like violent movies aren't exactly the core reason why. Millions of people consume this content, yet a very tiny fucking fraction are actually somewhat affected. And even if they are affected, a very small percentage in that actually use it as a root cause, if at all, if that's ever been cited during a mass shooting or anything of instance. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the worst things that I've ever come across in life is politics. I hate politics in general. I hate politicians. I hate being on any side in general. Because to be honest with you, politics used to be something where people could have a fucking meaningful discussion. Nowadays, it's literally just a tool used to divide individuals. I'm sick and tired of politicians in my area or over the border actually blame a lot of things rather than themselves, ladies and gentlemen. We can sit here and blame guns for the issue, but guess what? Here's the fun fact about gun controls and laws. The moment you start banning guns, people can get weapons illegally. You see, a gun isn't necessarily the fucking problem. I can load up a Glock in front of you, put it on the fucking table, and unless a human being touches that fucking Glock, that Glock isn't going to develop a mind of its own and kill 20 people. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me just put that the fuck out there, okay? Human beings hurt other people. Yes, they can use tools. And if a gun isn't present, I would like to remind you that where gun control actually is enacted, those countries, they have other ways where mass murders occur. Stabbings, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, if you go across the sea, people start stabbing each other when they can't get access to guns. If there are crazy, psychotic people wanting to kill other people, they will get their fucking hands on whatever the fuck they want. That's how it works, all right? Do you understand? That's where the logic kicks in. Do I believe that there should be some laws behind it? Absolutely. If some dude starts posting on the internet how he wants to burn a bunch of people alive or shoot up an entire fucking orphanage, yeah, maybe that person should be checked by the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Maybe that person should be put on a fucking watch list. That's why it exists. And if you think that, oh, that infringes on your rights, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We live in a fucking group of people now. It's not a black and white situation. Sometimes things happen. Now, moving on to the actual meat and potatoes of what I wanted to get out of this is, I see a lot of this, these people blaming like fucking video games. Somebody in Ohio blamed like homosexuality or some stupid shit like that. Basically, people are putting the blames on things rather than themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, we've had violent media forever. We've had video games for a while. Am I one of those people that thinks, playing Grand Theft Auto, is it going to educate somebody on how to mass murder people out in the public? To an extent, maybe in a very tiny percentage it could happen, but for the most part, ladies and gentlemen, it's a fucking video game. It is not a one-to-one way to teach people how to fucking commit a mass murder. The laws of a video game are very binary. Okay, the world is a different fucking behemoth of itself. I could play so much Rainbow Six Siege, but it's not going to turn me into a special force operator, okay? It's not going to fucking do that to me. So whatever the media likes to blow up your ass, doesn't exactly work the way you expect. I think, to be honest, the root cause is a lot of people that get divided amongst themselves. It's one of the reasons why this channel is called Some Ordinary Gamers. Out of almost 3 million people that watch this and have subscribed to this channel, the big takeaway over here is that I have honestly loved the idea of having a channel of just some ordinary gamers. Nobody here, if you think about it, has ever sat down and said, gee, I wonder how many people in this fucking group are gay or straight or black, white, brown, Muslim, Christian. Nobody has ever fucking done that. The problem with today's fucking world, all right, and this is some hot true facts right now, is everyone likes to just fucking put labels on people and likes to fucking create schisms and divides between everyone. It's why I hate shit like politicians when they start blaming video games. The root cause is the actual fucking politician themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, whoever you vote for doesn't fucking matter anymore. The world doesn't fucking change because you vote for somebody. You can vote for one party and 4 years later you're gonna vote for the other one. Nothing ever fucking changes. And the problem with today's people is that they think they're like pseudo-intellectuals and like somehow because they are a little aware of politics, they have like a slightly higher intellect, which couldn't be further from the fucking truth, because all it does is create hate amongst people anyways. Like you've got people who fucking hate another group of people for no fucking reason other than they have one label and they're taught from childhood or indoctrinated to hate the other label, and so on and vice versa. The moment you start taking labels away, you know, if you take little fucking kids, all right, little kids don't know shit about that. They don't fucking care. They're fucking flipping dog turds and playing in sandboxes together. They don't fucking care about that shit. They don't have hate in their hearts. Next thing you know, you have these politicians out there. You have a lot of these people who stir up controversies over and over and over again, constantly. And next thing you know, a fucking situation like this happens. You know, people are writing manifestos about how much they hate one group of people for no fucking reason. It's just stupidity upon stupidity. And once the most tragic of events happens, what the fuck, what happens past it? People start blaming shit that has no connection to it. You can blame guns, you can blame video games all you fucking want, and it's gonna piss me every fucking time over and over again. It's gonna piss me not because video games are being blamed. Is there blame to be tossed around? Sure. But one thing that I hate the most are people that can't fucking take any form of responsibility to them. As an adult, if I fuck up on my job, all right, guess what? I gotta take the fucking L. All right, a politician fucks up, they radicalize people out there, because that's how really what situations come down to. Motherfuckers get radical, they start doing some crazy extremist shit, and then we all fucking wonder why it happened. These guys radicalize individuals, and when the worst comes to happen, they're gonna do their little song and dance and start blaming shit that isn't even correlated to the actual situation. Look, you want to talk about violent media culture? Guess what? It's existed for decades at this point. We glorify violence as a society. We do it, all right? I've talked about this before. We're in a group of people where we can't look at a fucking penis and a vagina, all right, at all, okay? Two normal fucking things, but we can start looking at people being beheaded and shit, bank robberies, whatever you want to call it. That stuff's totally allowed, all right? But despite all that glorification of violence, it is not an exact cause of people who are obviously mentally disturbed. Anybody that kills 30, 40, 50 people, 100, whatever amount, is a mentally disturbed individual for no fucking reason. They had problems long fucking before video games ever entered their mind, before they even got a hand on a gun. All they got their hands on was tools that should have been regulated for that person specifically. And they decided to go out and hate people and hurt people because they were dumb enough to get influenced by people who literally make it their job to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm kind of on a bunch of tangents right now, but I had to do this because honestly, this video came from talking to my mom about this situation, right? And you know what? She's a person that looks at a lot of news. She goes into it. It can go down to anybody. And the moment video games start getting blamed, the moment like the moment media gets blamed, the moment like guns start getting blamed, the moment that blame just gets tossed around in general, it absolutely drives me insane. And it pisses me off because what it does is 100% diverts the attention from where it should be. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, we're all fucking people, okay? So quit fucking hating somebody because their label is different than you. In fact, stop having a fucking label in general. Shit's like ultra cringy anyways. That's why I don't get involved in politics. You think I give a fuck about social justice warriors? Them people are just as cringy as fucking alt-right individuals out there, dude. Put them in a fucking box together and just watch them argue back and forth. It's literally the cringiest shit you can see. But it's those people, it's that whole culture right there is why shit like this is allowed to happen. All right? And you know what? It's fucked up. It's a messed up situation. And you know what? Hate me forever, whatever you want, but at the end of the day, I'm spitting the hot truth right now. That's where I'm at. So ladies and gentlemen, all I can really say is it's a tragic situation that has occurred, all right? And it's a tragic situation that's going to occur over and over and over again. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the more and more we start diverting the attention from shit that really matters and start blaming video games or anything like that, is the moment shit like this tends to go into a pattern where history keeps repeating itself. So can we just stop for a second and stop repeating history over and over and over again and actually address the fact that we're literally at a point? Because if you look at 2007, 2008, a long time ago, I would say the old internet days, it was a lot different. People weren't that angry at each other. There was a point where everyone was allowed to make a joke. Everyone got along. Everyone had a fucking dialogue. You had less of this shit. And nowadays, ever since everyone is allowed to have a social media platform, everyone is allowed to have their voice fucking heard and their cringy ideas reinforced by some pretty powerful individuals, then you get shit like this kicking in. And then we're all sitting here wondering who to blame. Well, maybe instead of blaming things that have no real correlation, we should start to look at ourselves as a fucking problem. Yeah, it pisses me off. Of course it does. It pisses me off for reasons that I can keep talking for an hours on end. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm not a highly political person, nor do I claim to be. At the end of the day, I look at people, if you want to make a fucking difference, dude, just make a fucking difference. Quit radicalizing these people. Quit reinforcing this shit. Quit getting into this circle of hell over and over and over again, ladies and gentlemen. And at the end of the day, stop blaming fucking guns and video games for your root problems. Okay, look at the problem, tackle it, and then at some point, look at yourselves as a society and a group of people, okay? Look at what you glorify, look at what you allow. That's all I can really say at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna go back to playing some violent fucking video games, all right? Because you know what? That's the kind of shit I want to play. And ladies and gentlemen, I can guarantee you I'm not gonna go off the rocker and do things that shouldn't be done. That's just what I gotta say, ladies and gentlemen. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike it. I am out.